What counts is what's best for this patient in front of me.
The world first learned of Dr. Jack Kevorkian in June of 1990, when Janet Adkins' life ended in the back of his old Volkswagen van. The 54-year-old woman from Oregon was the first to die with Kevorkian's suicide machine, a contraption that, when a button is pushed, releases a lethal mix of drugs into the patient's system. At the time, Adkins' husband read a letter that Janet, an Alzheimer's patient, had written about wanting to die.
I have decided, for the following reasons, to take my own life.
It was Adkins' death that catapulted Kevorkian and the issue of physician-assisted suicide onto the national scene. We had met Dr. Kevorkian nearly a year earlier when he came to Action News to talk about what he saw as a terminally ill patient's right to die.
There's no way a person can suffer this way. It's the calmest way to die, and the most dignified because it can be done in anyone's home.
Over the next years, there would be dozens more patients and a number of court cases pointing out the lack of legislation concerning assisted suicide. Kevorkian became known nationwide as Dr. Death. He and his flamboyant attorney, Jeffrey Feiger, demonstrated a flair for drama. Once Kevorkian showed up for court in a powdered wig. When jailed, he went on hunger strikes. Several times he was carried out of the courtroom. But through it all, Kevorkian insisted he was only helping relieve pain and suffering for people like Sherry Miller, who died at the age of 43 after years of struggling with multiple sclerosis.
I want to die.
That's as plain as you can put it.
Yeah.
Twice the legislature passed laws prohibiting assisted suicide, and groups representing the disabled called him a serial murderer.
We're not dead yet.
Kevorkian repeatedly calls for other doctors to join him, saying that end-of-life decisions for the terminally ill should be regulated, not illegal.
Experienced, compassionate physician who is immune to any kind of pressure, financial or peer or legislative, any kind of pressure, and who has a clean record. That's the kind of physician who should start doing this.
Several times Kevorkian had legal victories, cases thrown out of court because of loopholes in the law or jury acquittals. But in November of 1998, Kevorkian, stripped of his title as a doctor, carried his campaign much further, giving 60 Minutes a tape showing him injecting 52-year-old Thomas Yauk with a lethal mix of drugs.
Tom, do you want to go ahead with this?
Kevorkian had thrown down the gauntlet, and Oakland County prosecutor David Gorsica responded by charging him with first-degree murder.
I didn't give Mr. Kevorkian anything. He brought it upon himself. I am following the law as I am required to do.
Just look at it. Honestly, no. Honestly. Do you see a criminal? Do you see a murderer?
The jury convicted Kevorkian of second-degree murder. Judge Jessica Cooper sentenced him to 10 to 25 years in prison.
And you had the audacity to go on national television, show the world what you did, and dare the legal system to stop you. Well, sir, consider yourself stopped.
Jack Kevorkian's attorney petitioned Governor Jennifer Granholm to release him, citing his deteriorating health and promising that he would no longer assist in suicides. But each time the governor refused, perhaps remembering how many times Kevorkian has made the very same promise.
When a patient needs help, I'll help a patient. I don't care what.
Have you talked to your associate?
If you were the patient, would you want me to stop? Would you?